Hey everyone, how's everyone doing today? I hope you're having a good day. Today I decided I was going to work in my art journal and I was going to do September's mission inspiration. I've said this on my other videos. The challenges this month were really challenging for me, but after I did my other two, I kind of like broke free and was like, I think I know what I'm going to do on this one. Because to me, this one was the hardest one to do. But then once I relaxed and I thought about it, I was like, I think I know what I want to do. So the first step is to create a background with alcohol, surgical spirits, and ink. And so I thought, you know what, I'm going to do a stained glass. I gessoed the pages, and then I just took a black Posca pen to make the black lines like it's a stained glass, like it's lead. And I know the leads are not crooked like that. They're usually straight, but I wanted them to look more like it's cracked, crooked, whatever. So I just wanted it to look this way. That's why I chose to do them squiggly. And then I just took my Spectrum Noir pens, and I tried, on the yellow, I tried the Sharpie, and I didn't like it. So I just went back with my Spectrum Noir pens, because I have every color that they make. And just use those. I didn't even think about the colors. I just started grabbing colors and just coloring it in. I love the way it looked. It's, you know, it looks so cool. Then I took the alcohol and I sprayed it, let it dry. I was like, I need it to be more. So I sprayed it again, let it dry, and I was like, oh, I need it more. So then I took the ends out and was like trying to drop dots on it because I couldn't find my eyedropper to drop dots on it. And I did that, and I was like, it still needs more. So then I sprayed it again with alcohol, and I'm like, you know what, I'm going to leave it alone now. So I sprayed it 3 times and used drops, and then I loved the way it looked. It was very vibrant, loved it. But it was too vibrant for what I wanted to do, so I went ahead and put some watered down gesso, white gesso, on top of it to just chill it out a little bit. And at first I tried to do it with a baby wipe, but it was taking my color off, and I can't understand that since it's supposed to be alcohol based, but whatever. So I took a pink hair curler, y'all, the ones with the sponges. You see them. I think I got it at the dollar store. So a whole pack of them. So I took this pink sponge hair curler and just dipped it in, rolled it in the gesso, and then rolled it on the page with my hand. My hand got all icky, but that was okay. It washed off. But I loved the texture of the sponge, and I loved the way that the page ended up looking. So that's definitely, and it was fun too. Let's just admit it. So now I'm like, the next step is to paint without a brush. So I'm like, I got Posca pens. So I started using my brown Posca pen and my white and my black to create a tree. Well, I, got so excited. I skipped what I wanted to do, which was to skip down to number 6, which is to add a geometric shape or two. I wanted to do that before I did anything else to the page. With Mission Inspiration, you can skip around in steps if you need to, unlike pick a stick challenges. So I wanted to use this Tim Holtz stamp that is just circles, and I used my Midnight Blue StazOn ink and just inked it all over the page. And I just loved it. I almost went a little bit too overboard because I was just digging it so much. And I was like, whoa, Jeannie, you gotta quit. So once I got that down, then I just went back to my tree and finished it up. Because I remembered like halfway through doing my tree, I'm like, oh man, I wanted to put the circles on first. So, but no harm, no foul. It ended up working out anyway. So you can't even tell, I don't think, that I made a boo-boo there. So again, I'm just using those 3 colors to, put shadows, put highlights, put the colors of the tree. I mean, it's kind of hard when you've only got a certain amount of colors in a pen, you know what I'm saying, to make your tree. And I know I could have used other paints and a paintbrush, but I don't know. I just kind of wanted to stick with the Posca pens. Then I took leaf green, added a little bit of water to it, acrylic paint, and I used a natural sponge and sponged it on. And then to highlight it, I used sage green to put the leaves on there. And I think my tree looks beautiful. I love it. So then the next step number 3, is use a household item. Well, this is parchment paper, that you would use when you're baking cookies or whatever. And I just took a brayer and I just spread the ink that I had sprayed on there. It's not ink, I'm sorry, it's paint. It's acrylic paint, metallic pink tourmaline, or whatever. I don't know. I can't say that word, but pink It's metallic pink, okay? Let it dry, and then I punched out little flowers with my little flower punch. They're EK flower punches. And then I used a die cut to cut out the bigger ones, and I was showing how I fold the page over so that I can get 2 done at a time. Saves me a little bit of time because I only have 1 die cut, you know. So I'm just using my fluid matte medium this time to adhere the flowers to the tree. And because the flowers are a little dark and the tree is a little dark, it just looks a little dark. And I'm like, oh boy, these flowers are going to need a little bit of help later on. But I'm like, never fear, there's another step I can use to do that. So I just put them on and, you know, let it dry and was like, yeah, I think this is going to look cute in the end. So after that, I end up, what do I end up doing? I can't remember. Okay, so I'm done with that. So now I get to do Create or Resist with a gel medium and stencil. Well, I wanted to make a wall down at the bottom. My whole inspiration for this really is Secret Garden, is what I was thinking of. And you know, there was a wall and that kept the garden in. And so I was like, well, I'm going to have a stone wall, I think, and you'll see why in a little bit why it is going to be the stone. And I did want it to kind of go lower down by the tree. So that was not a mistake. That was purposefully done. And then I put it along the whole edge of the whole, both pages, with heavy gloss gel medium is what I used for that. And then I let it dry, and then I went on to step 5, which is spray, drop, or blow on ink. And so I used black Indian ink with a little bit of white in it to try to make it gray, and I sprayed that, and I'm letting that dry. And while that's drying, I'm like, the other side, we got to do something. So I wanted to put like birds and clouds. So at first I used a stamp, and I was going to color in the bird, and then I was like, no, this is not working. That's not working the way that I want it to. So then I decided, you know what? I am going to actually do collage. I'm going to do paper painting and do a collage on this bird. I got the idea from Shell C. She does a lot of paper paintings, and they are gorgeous. They are just, oh my gosh, they blow my mind. So she inspired me to actually try it this month. So thank you, Shell C, for that. So I went ahead and I just tore up scrap paper, text paper, whatever I could grab, tore it up, used my heavy matte medium because some of it was a little heavy, the paper for, and I just covered the bird, and I made sure I kept looking on the back to make sure I was getting all the lines, and then I just cut it out. And oh my gosh, y'all, I think it turned out super sweet. I really do. I think it turned out really cute. So I really dug that. And I cut out the clouds with my cloud die cut, and I used text paper and just scrap piece of paper. And again, I'm going to use my heavy matte medium to glue all those things down to the page. I think it just turned out super cute. I will definitely be doing more of the collage painting, paper painting, whatever you want to call it. I don't know what you call it, but I call it fun. That's what I called it. So I really did like that. So after I do that, of course, I'm going to let everything dry. And you see how the bottom, it just, oh, that paint, that ink on that gel just turned out so cool. I think that's one of my favorite things about this page, actually. And so now I'm like, these flowers, oh my gosh, they need something. They need some kind of bling. They got to have something. So I've got these little gems, bling gems. I don't know what you call these things, but I bought a whole bunch when I went to the scrapbooking expo. And some are flowers, some are just little round ones, some are a little bit bigger. And I just took my heavy matte medium and just glued them on to where I think they needed to go. So they're all different. I've got let's see, there's green and purples and yellow. No, not yellow. Gold, I think, and just crystals. They're just, you know, but they just bling it up, which this thing really needed a lot. It really needed a lot of bling. And so I'm still fussing with these things to put them on to the page. So I will put the link to the Facebook group in the description if you're interested in doing this every month. I love it. It's a lot of fun. I really do like watching it, seeing everybody else's work and everything. It gets me inspired. So now I will, what am I going to do next? Let's see. Oh, yes. I decided I needed to paint the wall a little bit because it was so dark, even though I loved it. So I took some sterling silver metallic paint and just dry brushed it over it just to kind of make it a little bit lighter. And now I'm going with my Stabilo pencil and my green Pitt brush pen, or Pitt pen, not brushes, just Pitt pen. And I'm going to go around all the flowers. I end up doing this in a couple of steps, and at the very end I will do it again, but I didn't video record it. But all of them will have the green around it and the Stabilo. Then I like these flowers still need something, so I took my pink, yellow, and white Posca pens, and I just end up detailing the flowers a little bit and putting dots around the middle with the yellow and little lines for the leaves. And then I'm going to go over with the bird again with my Stabilo all pencil and my just Pitt pens, and will outline the clouds and the birds. And then I just take my Posca pens and just color in the bird a little bit. I think I put a little bit too much white on it, but it's okay. I don't mind them. And then the clouds, I was like, you know what? I like them blue, even though that's so unrealistic, but I don't care. That's just what I want them. I want them blue. So I did blue. And then I put little white dots around, and I was like, that's it. And I think that made the flowers. That's what did it. Those little white dots on the very tip really brought the flowers out. So, yeah, and I just did some shadowing and some highlights over on the clouds and the birds and stuff just to set them into the page. And then I used my Stella Wink or Wink of Stella shimmer pen and just, you know, shimmered up the flowers and a little bit of the bird and the clouds. And then I printed out on my label maker, Be You, Be Free. And I will end up putting a little bit of the Pitt pen on it, the purple, just to make it not white. I didn't want it stark white. So, and then on the very end, the very last thing is to add an element from nature. So I decided to use rocks. And I ended up using my heavy matte medium and adhering them only to the bottom right of the paper by the tree, because that's what I wanted, because I loved the way that the stone resist looked. And I didn't want to, and that's what I'm explaining right there. And I didn't want to cover that whole thing up, because I thought about covering the whole thing with rocks, but I'm like, no, I love that too much. So I was like, I'm just going to have the stones there, you know. So that's what I did. Creative license. Well, that's it. Thanks so much for watching. I truly appreciate it. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up, share, and subscribe if you've not already subscribed. If you have subscribed, thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. Don't forget to hit the notification bell to be notified every time I post a video. Thanks so much for watching. Y'all be good to one another. I'll talk to you later. Bye.